So I'm gonna make some sauce today. I think I've been pushing a little too hard on this knee of mine that I bust up when I was biking, and it's really hurting today. And so I'm not gonna be on my knees doing stuff today. I'll be on my feet making sauce. And the difference here, I'm using all those same ingredients as before. Only I'm gonna swap my jar of tomato sauce for about 5.5 pounds of these tomatoes. And I'm trying out this new sea salt too. Other than that, oh, I'm also going to throw in a lot more garlic. And that's not because I'm making a fresh sauce either. It's because my buddy told me he couldn't taste any of the garlic and in the last sauce. And, I think he was right. I don't think I could taste it either. I'll be back at you in a bit. So, I think, I don't know if you do it before or after or what's better, but I'm going to pluck all these before I dunk them all in my hot water. Because, you bring your pot up to boiling, dunk your tomatoes in there for just couple seconds, I don't know, 30 seconds tops maybe. You don't want them to start cooking. And then you dunk them, you pour out the hot water and you throw the tomatoes into a pan of cold, really cold water. And that'll cause the skin to just crack right off of them, and it makes it a lot easier to peel them. These all plucked out. And I was going to mention, a nice lady told me at City Cellar Wines about how when you're picking out your tomatoes, just smell them and take whatever smells the best. And I was like, wow, that's really good advice.
Getting bored waiting for that water to boil, and I just figured, hey, I'll show you what these hatches look like from the inside. And this is that one I just started tearing apart the other day. And, I think I'm missing some parts. There's probably supposed to be a little bracket here. You can see the screw holes from where it was to keep this open, so you can just prop the window up. So I'll have to see if I can find that little bracket someplace. A little peek of what one of the forward ones look like. And this has like a different bar on there. It slides along that little carrier thing to hold the window open. And I got it taped off here so I don't go getting any bits of sawdust down in my sauce, which I think that water's almost boiling. Take a second, water my plant quick. Little Fiji water. It's preference.
It's just taken forever to bring this water up to a boil. And it's, you probably think it's kind of silly that I got electric burners on this propane stove. I got all my propane tanks uninstalled at the moment. The propane locker had some rot issues, so it had to go. And I was going to mention, I'm going to eventually build one of these, or buy one of the electrolyzers that converts water into hydrogen and oxygen, and then just run the stove off of that thing. Because I got batteries, and I got a little wind turbine that I'll also install one of these days, and that way, if the wind's blowing, I could run my stove. That'd be pretty cool. But man, I'll tell you, my knees are getting stiff standing here. Starting to bother me, and I was just going to say, someone who's very flexible and definitely not bothering me, and it's just a great group of fellas down there at a community law firm. They're just great. This thing is about boiling, I think, or anyway, I'm not going to wait any longer. It's good enough. We'll split those tomatoes in no time. I'll dunk them in here, and then, I put the pan down in the sink to catch all the water that it displaces. And, you'll see the outcome in a bit. Kept them in the bag so that I can just pour the whole bag right into the old pot. I forgot one of the little stems on there. I'm going to go ahead and pluck that out later. Not at the moment. And it's been about probably 30 seconds or so. And from what I recall, last time I did this a couple years ago, I thought I saw them split in the hot water. And I don't want to have to go through this whole process again if I throw them out too early. So I'll probably let go just a bit more. Maybe a whole minute. About a minute. And some of these were cracked already. I think that's probably where the seeds are coming from. They're floating in the water. But anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and chuck them into the cold water and see what happens. I probably should have waited till the water was at a full boil, so this might have been my own fault, but I guess we'll see what happens. Right after I said that, I just noticed this one tomato has a little crack in it. That's good. This guy right here. And so maybe I'll let them go just another 30 seconds. They're not going to start cooking this quick. And that's what, the idea is. You don't want to start cooking them in a bunch of hot water, as far as I understand. So I'll probably let that go just a bit more, and then I'll chuck them in that cold water. You can probably see them pretty well on the camera that they are splitting pretty well now. Especially the ones a little further down in there. And if you don't let them go long enough, it's a real pain to have to peel all these. If you utilize the old spatula, or, it's not exactly a spatula, but... Or is it a spatula? No, that's not a spatula. What do you call this thing? Burger flipper? Scraper? I don't know. It is a spatula, right? Yeah. I figured I'd stir them up a bit, keep those moving over the heat kind of evenly. And look at this, you can really see that one splitting. I gotta get these out of here, I think. Check it out. It might look like some of these didn't crack, or well, I mean, some of them did not crack. It's the truth. But usually with just a little finagling, you can see the skin will just start sliding right off of there. You gotta be gentle with it. So this should go pretty quick. I guess it did go just long enough. Yeah, there's a good view. So I'll get skinning. To show you this, sometimes, you know, you don't have to be too gentle with them. Sometimes if you just kind of squeeze from the, you know, keep your hands on the skin and squeeze, it'll just kind of fall right out of there. Into it one-handed maybe. Yeah, came out pretty good. Alright, so here we are. I got these all peeled up, and you can see that's a lot of skin that came off of those. And I don't know, maybe if I would have boiled them a little less time, then it would have taken less skin off or something. I'm not sure. I never used to boil them and do this whole process at all. You know, I used to just chop up the tomatoes without skinning them first, and that makes a good sauce. But it adds a lot of tartness, and you need to throw something sweet in the sauce to offset the tartness. If you do throw the skins in there. But anyway, maybe I should have rinsed those tomatoes before I threw them in the boiling water. I probably should have. I'll make sure I do that next time. So I went ahead and chucked that whole, or let's see, I threw the tomatoes off the plate into that pot and threw it in the fridge for the moment. And now I'm gonna get all this stuff ready, starting off with the old garlic, and I'm gonna throw in, I think, like, I don't know, 2/3 of that this time. And maybe I should have got 2 onions. I don't know. I didn't want to get too many onions in the sauce. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up and throw it up online quick on the tubes. And you know, I was gonna mention it'll take a long time to cook this sauce. It'll be a lot of stirring, but it'll be from here on the same process as the last sauce. You know, cooking all this stuff first and then throwing in the tomatoes and all that stuff, and then the cheese at the end. And yeah, well, maybe I'll post another bit of it. Who knows? But I'm gonna get this thing up on YouTube.